Those smell like a fish. Want your cookie?
The roses are looking miserable. Everything's looking sad, sad, sad. I did plant some sunflowers. Those are coming along. We'll see when they bloom out. Lavender, you always look good. We're right here at the beginning of July, and down in the grass there's not a lot of stuff growing. And I'll keep an eye on how this entrance is looking. If it's looking too clogged up, you know, if I see an extreme amount of fanning or bearding, I can quickly make adjustments. That's one nice thing about having the hive back here in the yard. I've got a pretty much constant eye on it. And you see all the bees coming in over my shoulder? I sure can hear them. I also started to set up a little watering station for the bees over here. So the idea here is that the bees can crawl along the rocks and they can drink the water off of those without fear of drowning. It does have a pump in it, so I'm going to see if I can get the pump working and get the water circulating. Maybe help keep it stay fresher. But we do have a creek back behind me in the woods about a mile down the hill, so there's plenty of fresh water. But with things getting hot and July being here, I wanted to go ahead and set something else extra up so that the bees could have plenty of water, plenty of access to it. I haven't seen any over here, but if they need it, it's here. It's a little after 5 o'clock. We're just checking out the hive now. See, a lot of activity. It looks like they might be a little cramped in there. Everybody's trying to come in. Lots of bees in the air, so maybe this wasn't such a good idea. I'm gonna keep an eye on it and see what there is to see. And so I got out my crock pot. This is something I got a couple years ago at Goodwill. I asked my wife if I could use it, and she said, sure, just buy me a new one. I think I paid $8 or $10 for this a couple years ago and got a lot of use out of it, so I think I'm going to use this to try and melt some wax down, see if we can't clean it up for reuse. It's above 90 degrees today. It's been sitting out all afternoon. You can see a lot of honey's coming out of it. So between these two buckets, see, this is the burr comb I pulled off the that frame we tried to repurpose a little bit back. This real clean stuff is burr comb I got this year. And all that dark stuff is from my brother's beehives that I just tried to process some honey from. So there's really not a lot of comb that I'm even using that's from this year. So that would be a real challenge to, you know, repurpose this. We'll see how much we actually get out of it. I added some water from the hose here. We're gonna take it back to the crock pot. I still see some bees on the clover. Everything's loaded up in the crock pot and we're ready to roll. Me and Jasper are walking around the house to see how the wax is melting. Oh, it's looking good. It's actually too hot to touch right now. You can probably see it's boiling away in there. That's good. That means stuff's melting. So, put the boy back inside and see about unplugging it and letting it cool off. It's got that smell that bee frames has. Kind of a honeyish smell too. Beekeepers will probably know it. You can see we're melting some stuff down. I still see some actual comb in there, so we're going to let it keep going for a while. Yellow bubbles. Yeah, you wouldn't want to use this for chili again. They're just about impossible to get, but there are a couple bees actually buzzing around, I guess because I'm doing this out front. They can smell the wax and the honey and they want to investigate. So I might try and close this door and keep this away from them so they don't just end up killing themselves or trapping themselves in the garage. This is what I use to stir it. Kind of ghetto, but see, there's wax on it. So I'll have something to get out of it. We know there's some amount of wax. When the water fell off the lid, it cooled it down and condensed it, so you know something's in there. I'll let it cool off tonight. And we have wax. Not really clean yet. Only processed once, but it's more than I thought I would get.